What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And in today's episode, we're going to be checking out an analysis video from Elite Cameraman about SKIBIDI Toilet, specifically GMan. So I'm assuming, I guess in the video, he's talking about one particular SKIBIDI toilet, but I thought all the GMan is just giant SKIBIDI toilets, but I guess it's one specific GMan in the army, which I didn't think that was a thing, but I guess it is. But we're going to check out who that one is today, because there was multiple ones I saw. There's one that was like the main one we saw in episode 3, and then there's one that looks very similar with the camo outfit attire. I wouldn't say outfit, camo paint job, and then another one that just flies through the sky, and the one that has a rocket. So who knows, maybe there's different variations of the G-Man, and there's like one main G-Man and multiple ones, but that's just my theory so far about what's really going on. But we're going to find out from Elite Cameraman's perspective today. So without all out the way, feel free to give him some shine in the comment section below. That's where the original video is posted. And also let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see more of this content, and I'll deliver it for you. So without all out the way, without any further ado, let's get this show started. Alrighty, who is GMan SKIBIDI Toilet? All secrets and Easter eggs, analysis and theory. Let's see what Elite Cameraman's cooking today.
Hello everyone, Elite Cameraman here. Today we'll talk about the strongest SKIBIDI toilet that we've seen so far. The GMan SKIBIDI Toilet.
I was right.
Even though we haven't seen GMan for a while after the events of episode 47.
And is he actually labeled as the strongest? Because I was thinking that the glitch bot was probably the most overpowered one that they have thus far. I mean, I'm assuming the giant one's pretty strong too, but the glitch bot be going crazy, man. It's pretty OP, so who knows?
Likely that GMan will start appearing a lot more in the coming episode, because the SKIBIDI toilets have been struggling to fight back against the Cameraman after all their upgrades, like the new weapons, the Titan Cameraman being upgraded, the new Mecha Scientist Cameraman, and more. In today's video, we'll discuss how the GMan became the most powerful SKIBIDI toilet. Where did he come from? How he might be getting more upgrades after the events of episode 47, and why is he an essential part of the SKIBIDI toilets that are trying to invade the whole world?
Let's see.
So if you don't want to miss any interesting secrets, make sure to watch until the end.
Will do.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. As you know, GMan has been a crucial part of the series since the beginning. It even goes back as far as episode 1 of SKIBIDI Toilet.
No
Before
way.
we can even see the first SKIBIDI Toilet, we see a small G-Man dancing in the first second of the series.
Oh, wait. So all regular toilets are considered small G-Men? Because that looks like a completely different face. I used to call him Frankenstein because the actual G-Man looks like a Frankenstein head, but we shall see.
This makes me believe that he will stay as the strongest SKIBIDI toilet until the end of the series.
Maybe he leveled
since he
up.
already has been getting some crazy upgrades, but we'll get to those later in the video.
Did not know it was the same
In
dude.
episode 3, we see a G-Man running away from the SKIBIDI toilets, but this might mean that there were more than one G-Man at the beginning of the SKIBIDI toilet universe, and this does make sense when you think about it. As you know, G-Man is a character from Half-Life, and in the latest game of the series, Half-Life Alyx, we can see that he can make copies of himself, hinting at the fact that he might be capable of being present at multiple places at once.
That would make sense. I didn't even think about it like that. Damn, this is more in depth than I thought.
This most likely confirms that every G-Man we see in the series before he becomes a SKIBIDI toilet might be a different copy of him sharing the same knowledge, because in episode 4 of the SKIBIDI Toilet series, we get to see him again in a restaurant where everyone is sitting on a toilet. After the invasion of SKIBIDI toilets started, people most likely started protesting against the toilets. But this doesn't last long, because right after SKIBIDI toilets start marching inside the restaurant and start singing the SKIBIDI Bop Bop, everyone inside that was sitting on a toilet turns into a SKIBIDI toilet as well. We don't get to see G-Man's first time becoming a SKIBIDI toilet in this episode.
Is that like a medium G-Man? Because it's not as big as the one that we saw prior, but it's still pretty bigger than the mini-me ones and the regular size ones.
But remember what I said about he might have more copies of himself. Maybe even now there are more copies of him still out there.
It's crazy that he's like looking directly at us.
Maybe even now there...
Like right there, like, yo, I see you seeing this Easter egg. You got me, type shit.
There are more copies of him still out there. And maybe one of his versions is the scientist that's upgrading the SKIBIDI toilets. Who knows? Because as you know, G-Man is a mysterious character that is very powerful and also does understand a lot about new bleeding-edge technologies. If you want me to make a video about this theory, make sure to let me know in the comments. And what happens in episode 5 most likely confirms my G-Man having more copies theory, because even though we know for a fact that G-Man
Flying
turned into a
G-Man.
skibidi toilet in episode 4, we can
And
see G-Man
teleportation.
dancing in the sewers when the giant flying skibidi toilets are attacking. How could he be there in human form and be there if he just turned into a skibidi toilet? And it's weird because while everyone else is scared and running away, he is there just dancing around, which might imply that he is on their side or just powerful enough to not care a single bit. We get to see G-Man's human form up close in episode 6, but I do think that this episode was just made for fun and didn't really include any lore, but it still doesn't bust the theory, but further confirms it
That's
if you
him.
count the episode as an actual episode.
Or is it literally just copies of the same face because, you know, just another easy way to make the work faster? But who knows? It could be still more lore. But I figured this is just for comedic relief.
Episode 7 is the first actual episode where the lore of the series actually starts.
Yep.
Episode until now, there wasn't a cameraman POV, but it was more like a movie. But in this episode, we can see our shadow hinting at us that we are now a cameraman. We didn't know this back then, but if you look closely, we can see the camera head pretty clearly. This is also our first interaction with the skibidi toilets. We go up to one and flush one, killing it for good, but right after us flushing it, many skibidi toilets start rushing towards us, and seconds later, there's a huge explosion introducing us to the G-Man skibidi toilet for the first time. And he looks quite mad that we flushed a skibidi toilet. After this episode, we don't see G-Man.
Oh my God, so ugly.
Episode 12. And even though his appearance hasn't changed, we get to see him use his laser eyes for the first time. We have no idea if this was an upgrade done between the episodes 7 and 12.
Got some Superman DNA.
Like this, but I'm going to assume that it was an upgrade done afterwards because of his character has been progressing.
Yep.
It is established that the G-Man skibidi toilet is the most powerful skibidi toilet in episode 12. And this is confirmed in episode 17, where we can see G-Man skibidi toilet giving orders to other skibidi toilets standing around him.
But that doesn't mean he's the strongest. It just means he could be the leader. Like, I'm assuming he won't see the freaking glitch toilet doing this. I mean, come on, bro.
Includes some of the other powerful skibidi toilets.
But not Glitchbot 2. He's not even here.
Seen until that point. But they are interrupted by the insanely powerful beam coming from the sky. But this does not stop.
Time to get nuked.
We get to see that he is not just powerful when it comes to strength, but his defense is crazy powerful as well, since he doesn't even get a scratch from this incident. In episode 18, we were introduced to the first Titan of the Alliance, the Titan Cameraman, and he started overwhelming the skibidi toilets for 2 episodes, and in episode 20, we can see a madly enraged G-Man skibidi toilet going against the Titan Cameraman. But since the cameraman knew about the G-Man's, Laser Eyes Titan Cameraman already had measures against it.
Brought the riot shield.
But his plans don't go as planned when the rocket skibidi toilet rams him head on, breaking the shield, leaving Titan Cameraman's core unprotected, which makes him escape and gives the W to the G-Man skibidi toilet. In episode 20,
he was smart too, because it wasn't just shooting a laser willy-nilly. They were aiming for his weak spot. I'm assuming that middle part, just like Iron Man.
2, we can see G-Man leading the army and continuing the invasion. But something unexpected happens in this episode, and we are reminded of how powerful this entity is again. We can see 2 large cameramen sneaking up on the G-Man skibidi toilet's flush, and they try to flush him to end the battle, but it doesn't quite go as planned, because G-Man stops the flush midway through, which we haven't seen any other skibidi toilet do, no matter how powerful they are.
That was a shocker too, when I saw that.
As far as I can tell, because looking at his face, it looks cursed and more distorted. This is a repeating pattern that keeps on happening later in the series as well, but we'll get to that later in the video.
I wonder if he like resisted the attempt to flush him down, or he was just doing that for, you know, just to scare them. Because it looks like he spun that way to shoot, and then he was able to spin himself back down.
Sure to watch until the end. We don't get to see the G-Man skibidi toilet for a long while after this point. But as you most likely know, in episode 32, the Titan Speaker Man gets infected.
This guy.
But you might ask why that is important. It is actually a crucial point in the series because it's the start of the downfall of the Speakermen who were helping the cameraman, and it is the start of a new duo in town.
Such a tragic hero, bro. Hopefully they get him back on our side. I'm assuming the cameraman side when I say that, but honestly, he's been acting real shady, man. Stabbing people in the back. The giant TV Titan too. Oh my goodness.
Starting from episode 33, we start seeing the Titan Speakermen and G-Man skibidi toilet duo all the time.
Killing your own kind.
And invading everything. which puts a huge toll on the Alliance, which makes the TV race appear
Blew up
later in the
YouTube.
series. But I have a separate video about
That
on my
shocked me
channel.
as well.
If you are curious about it, you can check it out after you finish watching this video. Anyways, in episode 35, we get to see the duo in action again, and this one shows how cruel they actually are. This is the episode where the cameramen start using the parasite disabler gun, but they are interrupted by the crazy duo, and you can really feel the chaos in this episode. I felt the tension.
They're rolling up like buddies now, bro. Like, oh my goodness, man.
While watching this episode for the first time. Because of the rampage of the parasites, the Skibidi toilets haven't really suffered any losses.
It really looked like he just ate that bean too. And also, I really want to see the giant cameraman versus the speaker titan cameraman, because I mean, he's been ducking him for so long. He needs to come back into the fray.
Point. So we have yet to see any improvements on GMan Skibidi toilet, but that's about to change soon with the Alliance using more and more parasite disablers and curing everyone. In episode 38, we see the cameramen ready to shoot the parasite disabler laser tank's parasite disabler beam to the Titan speaker man, but GMan Skibidi toilet notices this, and we can see that he has been upgraded. He can now fly with jetpacks, and also has so much more armor for protection. We can also see his new laser guns doubling his fire output.
Yeah, I would love to see how the toilets actually do their upgrades, because we got to see how the cameraman people are doing it when they're fixing up the giant Titan cameraman. But I want to see the other side of it, like who's actually doing these upgrades, because we have scientist cameraman. I want to see some of the scientist toilets. I mean, it will look kind of goofy, or maybe they took a scientist from the cameraman side and brought them on their side to do all these upgrades. That would be a good little plot twist.
This upgrade was an upgrade no one saw coming and made G-Man a lot more powerful than before. With the appearance of TV Men in episode 39, a new threat against G-Man has been added. And in episode 47, we finally get to see Titan TV Man go against G-Man's Skibidi toilet. This is one of the most insane displays of powers we have seen in the whole series, and it's not just one-sided. Both sides are so powerful, but this was the first time we saw G-Man almost being defeated. His lasers weren't working against Titan TV Man,
I was shook when this happened.
See, even though he wasn't dying, he was being damaged a lot by Titan TV Man's TV beams.
He's getting it,
Which is actually a crazy feat, because it's not like Titan TV Man's TV beams are weak. Instead, they are very powerful, and G-Man Skibidi Toilet can stand against it. If backup didn't arrive on time to save G-Man Skibidi Toilet,
this is where
he might have been heavily injured.
I think this is the episode
as you know,
when the giant speaker man came and backstabbed him.
Ends with the Titan TV men being stabbed in the TV head and being heavily injured. But something
they're about to kill him too.
So after the Titan TV man pulls G-Man with his hook and uses the TV beam, while G-Man is using his laser eyes, the lasers go out, and after this point we don't see him use his laser eyes again, but instead uses his laser guns. And before he shoots the POV cameraman, we can clearly see that he has taken a huge hit, and his whole head is messed. His eyes are also back to normal, which suggests that they are either damaged for good, or they'll need to recover before he can use his laser eyes again.
Yeah, just like giant Titan cameraman, he just had to go back and get a quick re-up. Same thing's gonna happen to G-Man, but bro, Titan Saruman needs to come back.
Many people thought that this episode was a one-sided win against the Titan TV men, but we can surely say that it was almost a tie. In episode 49, if we zoom in, we can see that after the events of episode 47, G-Man has gotten some new glasses, and he is still not using his laser eyes. What do you think? Do you think his eyes are gone for good, or will he be able to use them again?
He's still got it.
Or do you think he'll come back because we haven't seen him for a while? My guess is that he'll appear again at the end of this season, where there will be a crazy battle, just like episode 47, including all our favorite characters.
I can't wait, bro.
If you enjoyed the video,
and Plunger Man's going to be coming on top. Watch. He's still clean, and he's still going to stay clean. And I was going to mention this before when I was actually going to make my own analysis video, that the Plunger Man and the Scientist Man, they're probably like, you know, buddies. The Scientist Man is probably right-hand man to Plunger Man, because they're seen in both episodes. I think episode 43, when they're just sitting down trying to watch the TV man, you know, clap the toilets, and then they ran away because they saw the toilets have shades. They just jumped up and they were about to fight. They're together there, and then they're together when the Scientist cameraman, it was his point of view in episode 48, and they was watching Plunger Man, and that's when the Scientist cameraman lost his leg supposedly, and that's who I think is the cameraman, the person that's, you know, controlling it. But that's another theory for another day. but I'm pretty sure this is over.
To like and subscribe
Yeah,
so
it's
that you
over.
don't.
So this is dope because I honestly, at this point, I just thought G-Man was just all those giant skippity toilets. But I'm assuming now it's just that particular one. And leads me to believe, are the other ones called different names as well? Because we see a lot of different giant ones, like the camouflage one and the ones that could fly too, that are just giant as well. It looks exactly the same as a G-Man. So that's interesting to see if they're going to label them in the future. But yeah, with that being said, you guys want to see more reactions of this, let me know in the comment section below. Shout out to Elite Cameraman for bringing out the heat. We might cover him again soon. So with all out the way, without any further ado, gotta catch you guys on the next one.